I'm Mary Lou Reidinger. Welcome to the Maya Jade Museum. This is the Linda Sheely Museum. This is a photo of Linda Sheely. She's the great Maya archaeologist who deciphered the Maya hieroglyphs, and she's holding up a piece of jade here. This photo was taken about 3 weeks before her death, so she's holding up her passport to immortality. So follow me. Welcome to the museum. And in here, if you look up, you can see the photo murals from the side of the paintings from the side of Bonampak. These are some of the paintings that were found by archaeologists at the site of Bonampak. And over here, we have samples of Maya lapidary techniques, how the Mayas worked jade all of the 3,000 years. They used abrasive garnet from the rivers of Guatemala, and they used the abrasive garnet on the tips of their bow drills and on the edges of their saws, and they needed to be using the garnet to make the cuts, because metal and other things will not cut jade. They have to use something harder than jade to make the cuts. And over here we have an example of the tomb of Rio Azul. When archaeologists arrived at the tomb of Rio Azul in May of 1984, all of the jades had already been stolen from the tomb and were already in private collections in Europe. One of the things we've been doing for the last 35 years is trying to help the government of Guatemala recover pieces that have been stolen from tombs in Guatemala because they belong in Guatemala. We do a replica of the Rio Azul mask. The original was stolen from the tomb and recently has ended up in a private collection in Qatar. So the reason we started this Jade Museum was to give people an opportunity to see things that they would never be able to walk into a museum and see. We do replicas of pieces from 3,000 years of culture, starting with the Olmecs in 2000 BC and going all the way through to the Aztecs. We have Olmec culture, Zapotec, Mijizoque, Maya, Teotihuacan, Mixtec, and Aztec. So we have pieces from the 7 different cultures. This is an example of the jade plaque from Tikal, which was excavated by a team from the University of Pennsylvania in the 1960s. The original jade dancer's plaque was stolen from the Morley Museum at Tikal in 1981 and has never been seen since. So that's an example of one of the kinds of pieces that we are trying to show people here in our museum. And if you walk over here, you'll be able to see some of the pieces from the tomb of King Pakala Palenque. King Pakala Palenque was buried in 681 AD under the Temple of the Inscriptions. This is a replica of his tomb, and the priest would have been up above, and the stairway down to the tomb, there was a speaking tube in the stairway so that the priest up above could communicate with the immortal Pakal. So in Pakal's tomb, we have a jade sphere and a jade cube, one in each hand. We have a jade sphere in one hand, a jade cube in the other, jade rings on every finger. The mask at the end is his belt buckle, and we have a sun god. So we have beautiful replicas from the tomb of Pakala Palenque. And over here, we have idea of how the Maya calendar worked. This arch here shows the 20-day glyphs and the 260-day Choltun calendar, the sacred calendar, and then it shows how it would fit with the 365-day calendar, all to form eventually the Maya long count, a count of 26,125 years. And over here, we have an example of the jade trade routes. This map shows the jade and how it was traded from the Motagua River Valley here all throughout Mexico, Central America, and showing all of the land routes and also sea routes for the trade of the jade. And over here we have an example of a Maya tomb. The Maya king would have been buried with his jade mosaic mask, his passport to immortality. But also in a Maya tomb you'll find ceramics, you'll find spondylus shell, conch shell, starfish. You'll find the oceanography from the floor of the ocean, because where the king must go to become immortal is the Shibaba at the floor of the ocean, which is his route to immortality. And over here we're going to look at Maya inlay of jade into teeth. This skull here shows several jade inlaid teeth. This is an example of how the inlay was done. And over here we have an example of a real jade tooth that had to have been in a living person, but it was found in his grave. He was a Maya noble that was excavated from Teotihuacan, and he's got his beautiful jade tooth. So welcome to the Jade Museum. I hope you have a chance to visit us. I think you will enjoy it, and we will be happy to see you when you get here.